What? Did you think it was made by some third-grade narco? You mean go ahead, take that O off that narc. Your complaint comes out grouchy, and Jewel chuckles. I don't want to be the angry Karen lady here. Why is she not the angry Karen lady? Oh my god, the service here is terrible. You're on top of a hut. Be quiet, or I will hush you. These hands are called hush puppies. How y'all doing? It's your boy JC, and welcome back to Perfumare. Last episode, which hold on, let me put up the comment section. Shout out Balcony as usual. I believe we can try to do the Laurence route to see if we can get a different end. So there is a way to get the different end, which Balcony said, for once in my miserable life, I have people commenting. So it's like, I have to find these. Hold on. There it is. It says, asked about Laurence route in games Discord, which I did not know they had a Discord, which kind of makes sense because I only ever played the Patreon version of the chapter 6, which is interesting. If it is legitimate Patreon version, then I wonder what like the Patreon version has. And I don't know how it may differ from the public version. It may be something as simple as you, parentheses not, picking up the Perfumare bottle laying outside the street when you meet Reed for the first time. I heard this one is a critical choice and it may give you a neutral end. Depending on what you choose, I don't remember at this point, or maybe the choice where you have to give Flavio some sort of receipt in Reed's route at least. But I think there's also a choice in Laurence as well. It's an important decision. Edit for Laurent, you have to trust him and take his hand in the scene where you fall. Not doing that will result in a neutral end, which I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, let me start the game. I don't actually know where that scene starts. It's been a minute for me, so I don't blame you. What is this? Automatic save. So they do automatic saves. I don't know when that scene is, but ultimately I'm thinking this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just go through all the routes, and then when we get to the point with, I'm gonna definitely try to make sure I get a non-neutral ending with Jules and Reed's, but I'm gonna go through all the routes, and then when we finish we can go back to Laurence and we can go through the whole Laurence route and see the critical choices and all the what you kind of said. So I think we left off here. Let's go. I won't lie, playing all these visual novel games really like helped me read better. So like even when I have not been reading it, I'm still reading, you know, while I'm doing this. So this is cool. The gravel shifts under your feet as you land. So if you guys don't remember, we're gonna go to the Airy. I think we're going to the location of Airy to figure out what's going on and like the truth of all of this. I think I'm not too sure. So Jewel is taking us to that location. Which it's different because Laurence route, we were kind of just with him the whole time, to be honest, until all what kind of transpired at the end of the game. So this one is a little bit more like, oh, you're on your own with Jewel. So I wonder if there's any SPD agents we're gonna encounter. Half on the ruined, overgrown pavement, half on the tall, thick grass. You keep your balance well. Still, as though by habit, Jewel reaches out to steady you. She doesn't seem to register the gesture. Once you are secure on your feet, she brushes past you, walking into the dense forest. Oh my god, we are in Alice in Wonderland. The distant noise of the train leaving the station dulls farther you march, and soon you can't hear anything but the rustling of leaves and sharp wind. Jules' pace is quick but relaxed, as though she knows exactly where to go. I hear you, boy. That's my people calling. Bruh. You feel me? Jules' pace is quick but relaxed, as though she knows exactly where to go. For you, the landscape doesn't seem to change at all. You see the same old trees, the same grass, but then you notice it. The change of terrain. The trees here are much thinner, younger. She trying to do an album cover art. Jules sees the curiosity in your eyes and smiles. There was a village nearby 2 decades ago. She points at the remnants of what was once a road running on the side of the grove. People used to live here, mostly the families of the scientists who were working at the research center. What happened? Perfumare happened. Everything happened. So how did they create the Perfumare? You heard about it back at the academy. Which, hold on. I'm smooth brain. Let me refresh my memory real quick. Affliction Research Institute, organized, dedicated, exclusively advancing the knowledge of all affliction. Help master control, stabilizing the tears. So they're just pretty much trying to further, they're like the Elon Musks of the freaking Perfumares. They said it was an accident. The research center was destroyed by a stray fire. A human mistake. But now you have an inkling that it wasn't the entire truth. The SPD decided to close the project the institute was working on. Said it was too dangerous. Are you saying that the Perfumare was created by the government? Everything's with the government. Come on. Get with the program, nigga senpai. She laughs, eyes crinkling at the corners. What? Did you think it was made by some third-grade narco? You mean go ahead, take that O off that narc? No, I just didn't think the drug the SPD is so set against was created on behalf of the people they are explicitly working for. Well, that's the point. They made sure that every single person who knew about it was silenced. But you said there were still people who had escaped. Yes, that's what I meant when I said it's important that you keep it to yourself. They know more about the perfumer than anyone else does. If there is a way to reverse the memory loss, they are the ones who will know how to do that. Are you sure? We're just banking on this. But you seem so sure they will be willing to help us? She opens her mouth, but before a single word, pick one, can come out of it. She claps it shut. She tries again. Then unable to find the right words, she shakes her head. You will see. Soon. I better see soon. I'm clapping cheeks. Figuratively. What? Does that make sense? I know. The night creeps on you abruptly and without a warning. The meager sunlight that reaches through the leaves and branches dims, leaving you to stumble around in the deep darkness. Uh-oh, the sun is going down. We have to stop. You don't want to whine, but after the third time almost braining yourself, you tripping over a thick root. You refuse to go like that. She stops in her tracks, turning to you with an apologetic expression. We will. Just a little bit more. There's a place. Oh my gosh. Why am my main character tripping right now? She squints, looking for something in the distance. Here. She points at a hut. That is demonic hut. You know, this is where they shoot the horror short films. Square shadow at the end of the clearing. A hut? No, not a hut. Go on, see for yourself. It's not a house. That you're certain of. Almost looks like a bus stop. That'd just be silly. We have a couple of miles ahead of us yet. She guides you with her hand splayed securely over your lower back. Steadier the grass is, the rough, patchy asphalt begins. Golly, bro, I know we lovers, but I got it. We should make use of the night and get much as sleep as we can. She can't mean here, can she? After all you've been through, you complain about where you sleep? Better hope you luckily ain't the Australian forest. They got army ants, bruh. In her stash of goodies, Jewel brought a sleeping bag, big enough for two, and thin blanket that you know will help to ward off the frigidness of the night. Still, sleeping on the grass seemed like a dangerous idea. Not only because of the temperature. How could we just sleep in there? You're pretty sure there are animals in these forests. I'm worried about the bugs, to be honest. Hopefully it's not mosquito time, because those are spawns of the devil. Big animals. Maybe not bears or wolves, but you're not particularly willing to be bitten by a rabid fox. Bro, you worrying about these animals. I ain't never heard of it. Do you see the bent road sign? Next to that bush. Yes? We'll use it to climb it to the top. The roof is wide enough for the both of us. Haven't slept outside in years. She hubs, nudging you with her elbow. Neither have I. Come on, it won't be so bad. I'll give you my blanket if you want. Or we could share. You know, for extra warmth. What if it rains? It won't. But it's going to be fine. It'll be safer there than on the ground, that's for sure. Yeah, like chill out, girl. Are we sleeping in the hut? In the hut is like kind of like a grassy ground. Okay. Good, just follow my lead. She moves slower than that she would otherwise, no doubt for your benefit only. You observe closely the way she uses the post as a trampoline, bounce it off the metal, and with the grace of acrobat, catches the low paling on the roof and hoists herself up. She doesn't forget about you. Twisting back to monitor your progress. Do you need a hand? I mean, I'm assuming I want to see. We're gonna have to get closer to her, so let's get the good ed. Let's see if this is gonna help with our good ed. Yes, please. The roadside looks like it's about to topple over, and the paling is so far from you, your fingers might just miss it by a mile. Without your life hanging in the balance, you lack the necessary adrenaline that made you leap up the pipe outside Jewel's house like nobody's business. Thankfully, this time you're not alone. Jewel leans over the railing, hand outstretched, as far as she can manage. She says, guiding you closer to the edge. Come on, jump. I'll catch you. And she does. She lifts you up and pushes yourself over with your legs to help. She doesn't let go of you until you're seated safely beside her. See? Easy. Easy-ish. And that's only because she was here to assist. I wonder if we didn't get her hand, would we still fall? That's a good little route right there. There's only the question of going back down. Man, we got hops. Your complaint comes out grouchy, and Jewel chuckles. I don't want to be the angry Karen lady here. Why is she not the angry Karen lady? Oh my god, the service here is terrible. You're on top of a hut. Be quiet, or I will hush you. These hands are called hush puppies. Alright, that was not funny. Jewel chuckles, brushing her head up it down your arm to soothe you. Leave that for tomorrow. Her thigh pushes against yours as she, ooh, hold up. Some thigh to thigh action? You thick? Yeah, for now, you set up camp. Or more truthfully, Jules sets up camp while you watch as she pulls out the sleeping bag and spreads it evenly over the roof. You're not much of use to her. Besides, unpacking the packets of dried fruit and saltine crackers you're going to have for dinner. She doesn't seem to mind though, content with simply talking with you until your impromptu bed is made. Waste the last of the sunlight to share the rations and chat. You stay up long enough for the sun to set. From dusk till dawn, you're here. As promised. When you're done eating, she hands you the blanket and holding it out until you take it. I'm not gonna lie, saltine crackers, I have not ate them in a while, but them joints smack with like butter on top of them joints. It's some random rap. Or maybe like jelly and freaking peanut butter. Man. When you're done eating, she hands you the blanket, holding it out until you take it. We could share. She shoots you a small, grateful smile, but instead of reaching for the blanket, she shakes her head. No, I'm used to the cold. What are you, about to pose for a Drake cover album art now? Like, stop. Take the jacket. Even Drake had a hoodie. Like, what? It doesn't bother me. As if to demonstrate, she lies on her side of the bed, roll and head perched on the duffel bag. Man, if you don't take my... Bro, she looking good in the mangles. I swear there ain't no Instagram filters. She is in line. You feel the heat of her body through the material blanket and all the layers of her clothing. Bro, if you don't snuggle, I'll put my leg on you. She stares at the completely clear sky and the mass of flickering stars. Guess she was right about the lack of rain too. There's only that much silence you can stand before the question you wanted to ask sometime now starts to weigh on you. Okay, I have to ask. Yes? What is a bus stop doing in the middle of the wilderness? Yeah, exactly. This is like an old place. Jules' eyes flick away. For a split second, you're not sure if the aroma of the salt comes from the air or from her. Oh, my breath. There used to be a road going from the village to the research center. The workers were brought home for the weekends to spend time with their families. And again, the strong smell of salt tickles your nose. The scent of misery. It used to be different then. Golly. You can't imagine how the area looked before everything was overtaken by the forest. A place so desolate, devoid of human life. So now, it's almost impossible to see it any other way. You know a lot about... I grew up here. Figures. She says it easily, even in even tone, but her eyes are downcast, sad. Man, give me them lips. Respectfully. Coming back can't be easy for her. Yet she decided not to only return, but to bring you here with her. I'm sorry. Her head moves a little, helplessly, as if she can't decide between shaking it or nodding. It's been a long time. It's been 20 years, she said. But 2 decades isn't enough to dull the pain. It's gone. There's no point in holding on to that. This is not a critical choice. This doesn't matter, right? We're gonna have to make a save here. I don't want to be an echo chamber. You're right. That's not true. You'd rather spend your life reminiscing on things you've lost? Things that were taken from you? And forget all about the good parts? That's where it hits. Just because they're lost now? It's easier. That doesn't mean it's right. She sighs, a weary, shaky huff of a breath before closing her eyes shut. I get lost when I overthink. She emits in a faint whisper. I keep looking for a way to change the past. Her next exhale is more of a snort, broken, mirthless. What does that mean? Mirthless. Of a smile lacking real amusement and typically expressing irony. Ooh. There's no changing the past. Life doesn't work that way. But I just can't stop. She glances at you, unable to hold the weight of your eyes on her. She turns away. How about you? Me? If you could, would you turn back time? Do everything differently? Honestly, I don't know what perspective I need to go on this because I'm going off the perspective of me, but then I also want to get a good ending and I don't know if this is going to affect it. I feel like I should only save when we get to like those option points and obviously when I have to end the video. But I'm gonna say no because honestly, I personally don't like to go back in the time. I like to reminisce, to think about the good times and always remind myself how far I came, but I don't ever want to go back in time. I'm gonna be real, because it just, you know what I mean, like life is what it is, you know. You can't really change what happens, you know, so I'm not gonna go back. There's too much to lose, too many mistakes you could have made instead, Too many things you never experience, never see. Would it be worth it? Yes, I know what you mean. She looks at you. She really looks at you. Plus, if you actually went back in time, you would have to go through all of, like, if you like stuck and you were like, oh, I really hated what I did yesterday. Let me go all the way back in time so I can prepare to not make what happened yesterday. Then you have to relive all the way until that point till it happens. And you might have to relive a bunch of bad moments just to get to that good moment, or just to potentially change a good moment. That's just not worth it for me. She looks at you. She really looks at you. Even in the fading light, you see a speck of green in her otherwise gray eyes, and a red tint of her cheeks. The blush that sets her over her skin. It'll be easy to believe from the wid. It's from the wid. If not for the scent of licorice, the sweet, it's salt, bitter, it's sour. Licorice is disgusting, bruh. And I heard it's also unhealthy, so I think they use that to make Twizzlers, and nah, I never liked Twizzlers, so that's just me. This, she says it at last, after what feels like eons, is a disaster. She watches the sky, frowning at her own words. It is. The memory loss, the SPD, the murder charges, everything. A disaster is a perfect name for this fiasco you're in. And yet, she presses her lips into a thin line, a way you know she does when she's anxious. I must be going crazy. She whispers something instead of answering. She closes her eyes and she doesn't speak again. But she's not asleep. Not yet. You feel a light touch, light enough to you might have imagined it. A faint brush of warm fingers against yours that might as well be an accidental. Ooh, hold up. Bro, we ain't gonna have enough save spots. I'm gonna have too much. Honestly, I think I could start overwriting the Laurent saves, because I'm gonna probably have to go through his whole route again to get the right ending, so I might as well. With a slight slide of your hand, this distance between your palms become non-existent. You hear a sharp breath, then a swallow before Jules' fingers slide between yours and hold on tight. It feels different. You held hands before, but never like this. You taste sugar, palpable in the air. Inhale it with big mouthfuls. Ooh, I would love to taste some cinnamon in the air. The heady scent of cinnamon. A bit of choking, a little bit hot. When you exhale, your own breath is nothing more than a cloud of cold mist. The blanket is warm around you, but the hand is intertwined with yours is warmer. You close your eyes, and you don't have to wait long for sleep to come. Yes, sir. The morning comes. Jules shakes you awake. You pack your things and finish today's rations, and promptly set off. Rest of your trek goes smoothly, and you start your march at sunrise, taking advantage of every ray of sun to guide your way. It's easier walking on even ground, along the asphalt destroyed by age. Your feet don't hurt as much as you thought they would, which is relief. Alright, you pass 2 more of the bus stops before the landscape changes. The forest thins, then ends. Ooh, we're here. Ooh, this look is shady. You don't need Jules' warning. The large facility, though well hidden from this close, is hard to miss. At first glance, it seems like a desolate building, inactive. But the soft buzzing of machinery in the distance confirms that the laboratory is still very much in the working condition. The area isn't at all abandoned. There, near the entrance, you see a woman. Baby girl, what's your name? Who is her? She has to be one of the scientists working here. But she's too young. Bruh. I retract. But she's much too young to be one of those people who are part of the project Jewel has told you about it. Oh, much too young. I didn't, bro, I'm sorry, but I have not tried to. Renee, hold up. Renee's kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. Renee Marie Violante, daughter of the research center director, Eric Violante. Ooh, a promising neurologist working at the Bureau of Control and Prevention, under the command of Sylvia Leda Rosier, the Bureau's chairwoman. Low-key, I kind of want to get into neurology, I'm not gonna lie. Not like as like a major or anything, just like the field of study, like just to learn about it more, because the study of brains is interesting. The woman Renee snaps around, eyes sharp and alert. Her expression goes soft as soon as she spots Jewel. Jewel, it's good to see you. Okay, well, probably more than just good, seeing how fast she's made her way towards Jewel, catching her in a bone-crushing hug. What are you doing here? It's complicated. Complicated? Renee's face sets, and her brow lowers in a frown. She glances at you as though finally noticing your presence. Yeah, introduce. Hi? Is that you, introduce? And you are... I need to stop playing around with these names. It's Nigga Senpai. She's... Jewel purses her lips, searching for a right turn. Just say friend, bro. Golly. Don't make it awkward. She can't seem to decide on one, so you cut in. We work together. Ah, at the Perfumare. Her frown clears and she smiles, satisfied by the answer. Wait here, I'll let everyone know you're back. She places her hand on Jewel's shoulder, and with the last small grin sent her way, she enters the building. Whoever the woman is, you have to admit, she and Jewel look good together. They probably known each other for a long time. We look better, baby boo. Calm down. You can't gauge what kind of relationship they have, but the thought of them being together makes you feel, go ahead and say it, bro, indifferent. I mean, unsure, whatever, it's the same thing. Though Jewel has a lot of acquaintances back home, she doesn't have many close friends. As long as you can remember, she always kept to herself. It's strange to see her this close with somebody. You don't like that feeling, not one bit. Hold up, we gonna have a relationship war? Hold up. I'm gonna get Jewel, hold up. Jewel takes one look at you, and her lips stretch in a smirk. What? Nothing. Oh. You seem well acquainted. Don't show that we're jealous. Well acquainted. Jewel laughs. She used to babysit me. Oh, so she older than you. She steps closer to you, breaking the distance between you in a short, quick stride. Our parents were close. That's nice. Her hand falls on your shoulder, then slowly slides down. She circles her fingers around your waist. Ooh, hold on, she get bold. She's just a friend. Ooh, she waits for something, though you're not sure what exactly. Your tongue feels very heavy in your mouth. You force yourself to speak. Okay, are you? Jewel. Lulu Dimur. Both of you pivot, moving your heads towards the approaching figure. An older woman, bearing a striking resemblance to Jewel. That do not look like the same Jewel. Is that her mother or something? She has the same red hair. Those is dusted with gray. Same eyes, light and sharp. Same smile. Maina. That's her mother. Ooh, there it is. That mother's embrace. Jewel rushes to her mother's sides, and both of them clinging to each other, exchanging hushed words, and voices broken with unsaid emotion. Love around them is palpable, and you have to look away. That pang of something closely resembling envy flashes through you, and you take a note of it, a little ashamed of yourself. Yeah, why are you getting jealous? It's just mother's embrace. Your own family was never half as loving, half as caring. Jewel and her mother step away from each other, and there are tears shining in both of their eyes. Can't blame them now. For all you know, Jewel hasn't seen her family almost 3 years, since she and her sister settled in a Lazar with their grandmother. Though until now, you always thought it had more to do with her parents' work, not with them being hunted by the SPD. Not unlike you are right now. A shadow falls on the ground on your left. A second before you see Renee, slowing to a halt in front of you. Let's give them some privacy, I might take you, to be honest. Your makeup on fleek today, girl. Sure. It would be inconsiderate to linger. Follow me, I'll show you to your room. You assume we're staying? You ask, falling into step with her. Jewel wouldn't risk coming here for trivial matter, and if it wasn't something she could have dealt with alone, she has something big. Big. Yes, that sounds about right. Alright, Renee guides you through those straight halls up the stairs. The interior looks much cleaner than you would suspect at first glance. If you have any questions, I can answer some of them first. Only some? Nothing confidential. She glances at you, flashing a weary smile. There are some things even I don't know. I mean, that makes sense. I'm not gonna ask you some crazy stuff. You have more luck asking Serene, eh? Jewel's mother, tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. But everything I do know. She shrugs. Well, feel free to ask. Let's get to brass taxes, feel me? You and Jewel. There isn't a subtle way to ask about it, so you don't beat around the bushes. Have you known each other long? Since we were children. She's like a sister to me. One I never had. Oh. What was she like as a child? Pretty much the same as she is now. Very independent. Always in motion. She never wanted to study, busy running around, getting her knees bruised. Then, a flash of pain tightens her voice. Everything changed. Golly, she looked like she's ready to terminate. She stares off to one side, as though she's in a trance. The odor of acid and salt coming from her in waves is unbearable. Can we change the subject, please? Of course. The smell eases off and she turns to you again with a thin and very forced smile. Golly, I feel like she a robot. Somebody need to change her code. Anything else you want to know? The facility. What about what's going on? You tell me more about the facility. She spreads her arms indicating the area around you. The pale, squeaky clean walls and white, shining tiles. The research center used to house over 300 people. Now it's only the 5 of us. Me, Jules' parents, and my father. Well, 4 technically. I am absent pretty much most of the time. I thought you were in hiding. Yes and no. The SPD leaves us alone, as long as we don't reach out. The others, I mean. Not you? I work in Alvin as an assistant. They don't know about my involvement with the Institute. He purses her lips and studies you. I work hard to keep it that way. Why risk it? For my father. He lost a lot during. She ducks her head and hides grimace of pain, though her eyes never leave your face. He just lost a lot. We all did. We all do. She brushes a stray lock of hair off of her face, puts it back behind her shoulder. You have any other questions? The last one, bro. I want to know more about your research. Perfumare? She takes a deep breath, and when she speaks, her words sound rehearsed, as though she's reading from a brochure. The main idea for creating Perfumare was to help higher tiers control their afflictions, and it seemed to work in an exemplary way for a time. You mean for the side effects, right? The memory loss. She shakes her head. The test subjects, 5s and 4s, became weaker the longer they took the drug, while on the contrary, the lower tiers grow in power, albeit only temporarily. The surge of power has a price. The longer you take it, the more you need it. Like with any mind-altering substance, only Perfumare is nothing like other drugs. It's not addicting. It doesn't make you experience a rush of euphoria. Anyway, the real reason the government wanted to release the Perfumare was not to help the 5s, but to control them. But for the 5s, there are no benefits taking the Perfumare. Exactly. So their plan misfired. She lets out a dry chuckle. But before they had realized their mistake, the damage was done and the receipt was out. It wasn't hard for the other manufacturers to recreate the Perfumare. People who got a taste of it wanted more, and all the government could do was put the blame on the Institute, shut down the project, and get rid of everyone who knew the truth. That's almost unbelievable. But after all that happened to you, all the strange things you've seen, you have no reason to doubt it. I had no idea. You weren't supposed to know. A brief pause as she clasps her hands together in a way that makes it clear the subject is closed. Anything else? No, not really. We good. Nothing right now. Alright. She stops in the middle of the hallway in the front of the door, marked with a plaque that reads Lab 1E. I'm just down the hall from Laboratory 2F. You change your mind. She pushes the door open with one hand. With the other, she hands you a small key with a yellow tag stuck to the keychain. There's a bathroom on the left. She starts as you step into the room. We have a central heated, water filtration, and a bed with mattress and a pillow, and Wi-Fi 6 internet. Wi-Fi 6. I'll bring you some clean sheets later. You didn't clean the sheets? I just got dirty sheets sitting here? She adds, and she noticed your lingering gaze. Until then, please make yourself comfortable. Oh, you intend to. Thanks. With a cordial nod, she turns and leaves. The loud echoes of her heels cluttering on towels reverberates for a long while. It dulls at last, and you close the door. Then you fall into the bed. You're out before your head hits the pillow. Go to sleep, ho. Jerome. The facility as a whole are more homely than you had given them credit for. A pleasant surprise, seeing the research center became your temporary home. The soft mattress and the shower with clean, hot water are a small comfort in your situation, but a comfort nonetheless, especially since it's prepared well for a day and spent on brainstorming the possible cause for your memory loss with Jewel and her mother, Serene. I don't know if it's Cyrene or Serene. To summarize everything I just said, she pats on the stack of documents, pushing them to the side to make some space, and perches herself on the edge of the table. Fair amount of 2 blah 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 particles, aka Perfumare, inhaled through your nostrils and mouth will, especially in the top tier 5 or 4, cause effects similar to dissociative amnesia or fugue state depending on the length of the exposure. It's only temporary, and the approximate time of the loss shouldn't be exceed a week. Jewel frowns. But it's been for, what, almost a month now? Exactly. Means your partial amnesia wasn't a drug related. It is a relief to hear that. Still, it's better than being completely in the dark. Then what else could have caused it? Physical or mental trauma, but there should be more signs if that was the case. You either deliberately choose to forget that part of your memory, or somebody made us forget. I know who made us forget. Somebody who shares your affliction. With a high enough tier, a person with the same gift as yours, allure, could have made you forget their face, their name, their entire presence. Erase every part of them from your memory. That's a sound theory. But what about Jewel? If she was within earshot of the person's voice, she could have been easily affected as well. That doesn't make any sense. The SPD had both of us, Victor, in the same place. Why kill him and leave us here? Leave us alive. I agree. If they didn't want to kill us, they could have easily arrested us. We're heavily outnumbered, unless they weren't really from the SPD. But no, that actually makes sense. Now that you think of it, it seems like something a gang would have done, not the high and mighty SPD agents. They might be ruthless, but they stick to the law so hard there's no way they'd be shot a man, even a scumbag like Victor. If they weren't interested in us, they wanted the shipment. So you think they were mercenaries? It's not the first time somebody tried to steal the cargo from us and sell it again for twice the money. Mercenaries disguised as SPD? Why even bother? Why not? It's not like it's hard. All you have to do is nick a couple of IDs, wear a white shirt and a pair of sunglasses, and you're set. She's right. All of you turn to stare at the newcomer, Renee, standing in the doorway, hands clasped stiffly behind her back. I think that might be the case. Renee. Care to explain? Renee bites her lip, and after a deep exhale, she starts speaking. I saw a report on my employer's desk, though at the time I didn't think much of it, but now knowing what I do was a little strange. Strange how? It was about the murder, nothing about the drug bust, but I shouldn't have been there, at my department. I work at the Bureau of Control and Prevention, not the Security and Peace. And it's not like the first time I've seen a report like that this year, mentioning similar cases. A dead man or a woman, never any sign as to the identity of their murderer. Always killed with a shot in the head, execution style. Well, that makes perfect sense now. There's a mercenary gang running around using the SPD as a cover for their scam. What do you think would have happened if people were to hear about it? Serene grins, a wild, cruel smirk. There would be riots. Renee doesn't share the mirth. She's somber, staring at her own hands. And so they do what they always do. They pretend everything is fine, but it's not. There's a rampant gang running around a Lazar. Sylvia, my employer. Oh, she would lose her job. Exactly, that's why they're so hush-hush about it. And that's why she's interested in these murders. Oh, that's a foolproof plan. The culprit wanted to steal the cargo. It doesn't matter what you get alive. Not when they can use you as a cover-up for the real SPD agents to prosecute for their actions. They were just expecting you not to be alone. Okay, that makes sense. All right. She says that's her employer. I mean, obviously they don't know about Sylvia being corrupt, but she's the fact that they know that she's been looking into a lot of this. That's why that Laurent guy said you were being framed by someone you trust. She whispers, eyes still on her mother, as she and Renee discuss something. Hushed whispers. He meant someone you worked with, someone who works in the same circle, maybe even for Alon. Then it couldn't have been Reed, since all he really does for Alon are taxes. Evading taxes, you mean? Same thing. You wave your hand dismissively. Dealing with all that red tape BS. He's never been on a run with us. He just handles the papers. People don't know that. Besides, you were close, so it's plausible. Taking his reputation under consideration. His reputation, yeah, he has one of those. But it's such a stretch. You don't know whether you should laugh or roll your eyes. Jewel opts for the latter, whether it's true or not. Either way, the SPD, the real SPD, I mean, they might want to, they won't. Serene's expression is placid, devoid of any emotion, and there's something like sadness and bitterness in her eyes. You know they won't. She's right. Everyone knows at the end of the day, the SPD is nothing more than a puppet. The government says jump, the SPD asks how high. The government says arrest this or that person, the SPD does, no matter if you're guilty or not. It's always the government, man. They just want to get the job done, to get the case closed. They don't need a real culprit for that. All they need is a believable scapegoat. Renee lets a shuddering exhale. The SPD might not want to work with you, but Sylvia might. I don't trust that broad. No, she definitely will once she learns you. Serene points straight at you, flashing another one of her grins. Might have seen the culprit. You don't know Renee's boss personally, but if there's one thing all the big players have in common, is that they will do anything to keep their seats. Renee has to realize that too, because her face sets. Give me a moment. She pulls out a cell phone. Hey, who you thumbing? I'll attempt to organize a meeting. Oh, brother. She halts 1 foot past the doorway. Your eyes meet. The gleam you see in hers is determined, certain. Serene, if you be so kind to accompany me, of course. Serene pushes herself off the table, patting you on the back encouragingly as she goes. She hesitates briefly, ruffling Jules' hair before following Renee out, closing the door after them with a soft clang. The sound of their hushed conversation is short, easily lost in a long hallway outside. The sudden silence, you can hear the slight waver in Jules' voice as she leans over to the table, mutters to you and to herself. You can't be quite sure. This is the worst paid leave ever. I agree. Tell me about it. No amount of money is worth this shit. And it's you saying that. Her laugh is weak, breathless thing, but you find yourself returning to it. Are you sure it's a good idea? Trusting Sylvia. Be honest. Wait. Let me make this save. They think they got me messed up. Stupid. Honestly, you don't know what to think. All the options seem wrong. If she tries anything funny, hopefully you'll be able to use your gift to your advantage. Jill's face is all scrunched up and tense. It twists away when she's worried or agitated, just as she is now. What if she decides to arrest us instead? We gotta remember, she is like the head honcho of the SPD, I think. Laurent's mother. She scowls harder, picking up the documents scattered on the table and one by one stacking them back into a neat pile. We'll try to get away. Jules strains on the corner of her lips, fighting herself to push them up. Is that optimism I hear? Yeah, sorry about that. I know how you hate it. You won't give a little nudge as you say it. She sways to the right when she then comes back, pressing herself against you, shoulder to shoulder. I'm serious though. I know, but we can't stay hidden forever. Why? Her attention is fixed on the table, with both of her hands held in plain view. She's too slow to hide the tremor of her fingers, but she tries nonetheless, pushing them back into the pockets of her pants. I mean, would it be so bad? With you here, again, with the scent of licorice, reaches your nose, stronger than ever, persistent. She looks at you with an expression of pure vulnerability you're not used to seeing. We could... The door opens. The fragile look on Jules' face shatters. She moves away from you just as Renee's voice reaches in your ears. We didn't even hear you, you robot. She agreed. Renee is alone and holding herself up with one hand on the door frame. Looking paler than she was when she left the room. Not more than 15 minutes ago. Easy as that. You attempt to catch Jules' eyes again, but she refuses to relent. I wouldn't call it easy. I didn't tell you to call her. You ragged a huff. Renee steps out of the hallway and into the room. She moves steadily, keeping herself poised. What does she say? That she'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And that she wants to meet you next Monday at the warehouse. You weren't really prepared for that outcome. The bigger part of you expected a refusal. The smaller part hoped for an agreement. That's good. Renee nods, passing you a wan smile. Jewel frowns deepens. She purses her lips in around the inevitable but, though when you think it's coming, she remains silent. It is. I was not expecting her to be so What? I am learning words. Amenable? Docile? Person is open and responsive to suggestion, easily persuaded or controlled, capable of being acted upon a particular way. So pretty much receptive in a way. Bro, they just be making words for no reason. Like, they have receptive, bruh. Why they have to make that? A catch. Of course, there's a catch. You have to come alone. Jewel bangs her hands on the table, speaking up before you have a half of chance to open your mouth. It's out of the question. Jewel, you have to understand Sylvia doesn't trust you yet. And yet we should trust her? She works with the people who want to arrest us for murder, and she's still willing to give you a chance. What does that tell you? That she's desperate. They both turn to look at you, and you raise an eyebrow. What? She just agreed to meet a potential murderer just so she doesn't lose her job. What else do you call it besides desperate? Unwise. Idiotic. Y'all are just hateful. We have a couple hours left. Think about it. What is there to think about? If you want to move forward, you need to go to the meeting. If it's too late to get cold feet, I'll go. Take me with you then. You start to shake your head, but she interrupts you swiftly. I'll hide like last time. She won't see me, I swear. She's a higher tier, brother, but she don't know that yet. Great. Jewel, please, think about it. You do. You couldn't not think about it, even if you wanted to. 1,000 different scenarios run through your head, from the most possible ones to so far the realm of possibility. Surprise yourself by bringing them up. What if you come alone and Sylvia decides to arrest you? What if you come with Jewel and put her on the radar of the SPD? If it was only your life on the line, maybe your choice would be different. And we will pick on the next episode. Obviously, we have the save points now, so we don't have to stress too much, but it's like, what will happen if we go alone? If we go alone, I feel like, I don't think we're gonna die. I don't think we're gonna get a bad ending if we go alone. I don't know if we're even gonna get the same kind of path that we went when we went with Laurent. I don't know if we would get the same encounter. With that knowledge now, I feel like going alone would be safer for me and Jewel. But then, you know, would that really help the relationship that we have with Jewel now? I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think I should pick? See, this is how you cliffhang. But I am curious to see what will happen if we went with Jewel. I feel like we should go with Jewel. That's just my bet. But these characters, I wonder. I don't even know if we can trust Renee now because she's the boss of Sylvia. Isn't that suspicious now? I gotta keep my eye out on Renee. Let me know your thoughts and theories as usual. Stay blessed. Keep it special. I'm gonna see you when I see you. Peace.